welcome back. It's Christine again with the Artist Pod, and today I thought I'd talk about some of the things that you can do to sort of warm up before you start drawing, a warm up or an exercise, whatever you want to call it. I have three separate exercises that I used to do all the time, and by that I mean we did it all the time in high school and in college. I think in high school we did it almost before every single class, and in college it was a little bit more sporadic and it kind of depended on the class. It wasn't until I was getting to the upper levels that we started doing it, and even then it wasn't consistent. But I think they can be really helpful because I noticed a difference even in high school with my drawing when we would do them. So it takes about 15 minutes, and you can either do all of these exercises or focus on just one for the 15 minutes, and then you would start drawing like normal. And the idea is that in all of these, you're drawing something complicated. You're drawing a figure. You're drawing a person. It's not something simple. It's not a basic shape. You're drawing something that is significantly more complicated to do for your left hand or for not lifting your pencil up or whatever it is. So the first one is probably my favorite of the three that I think is the most noticeable, is drawing with your non-dominant hand. And it's not meant to look good. So let me also preface this with it's not expected to look good. What it forces you to do, or at the time when I was in high school, they thought that by drawing with your left hand, you were pulling from the right side of your brain, which is a more creative side. And so left-handers would stick with their left hand during the exercise, but right-handers would flip to their left. Research has disproven that, but the reason I think it works is because you're drawing with a hand that is weaker, where your muscle memory isn't as developed. I can't draw a letter with my left hand. My left hand doesn't do a whole lot except support my right hand in its endeavors. And so by drawing with my left hand, it forces me to look at my subject radically differently, right? Like I have to take a look and sort of break down the shapes even more basically than I do when I'm drawing with my right hand, because I can't even draw a letter with this hand. So I have to readjust what I'm doing. And when you do it for a few minutes, it changes how you're analyzing your subject. And I find it to be really helpful. So then when you switch back, you're already in this mindset of analyzing your subject in a different way, breaking down the shapes in even more simplistic ways, and you're able to draw even better and sort of keep your proportions pretty well. So like I said, it's hard to do. Again, I can't even draw. I can't even write a letter very effectively. I mean, I probably could, but it would take a while and it would look really bad when I do it with my left hand. So drawing with my left hand isn't going to be good, but it's that warm-up that's really good. If you're going to do one for 15 minutes, I would recommend drawing with your non-dominant hand. Or you can split them into, 5 minutes each for each one of these, whatever works for you. The second exercise is to not lift your pen, pencil, whatever you're using off of your paper. So if you're drawing a face, that means you would draw, the edge of the face, but then you'd have to come in and draw the eye without lifting that off. So you'd have to have a line coming in. And then as you come down to the nose, you're going to have your pencil remaining in contact with the paper. What I really like about that one is it sort of forces you to think about how you're using lines, what your line placement is, how you're using it to highlight and shadow or create or define a shape. And I know I've said before, don't let the line dictate the image for finished products for when you're fully designing, but that's not really what this purpose is, right? Like you're not really trying to create a work of art. You're trying to warm up with it. But it sort of forces you to reanalyze how you place your lines within a composition. And the last of the three exercises is not looking at your paper while you draw. This is probably not feasible to do digitally. I tried to think of a way before I started this video how it would work in Photoshop, and there's not really a way. I have to be on the layer in Photoshop with that open in order for me to be drawing in Photoshop. But it probably would work on an iPad. It would definitely work on a piece of paper, which is how we did it. So by not looking at your paper, you can get a sense once the 5 minutes are up, when you look back down at it, and it will be a jumbled mess because you have no idea where your pencil's going. But it can give you a sense of how your hand is interpreting the information from your eyes and how you think you're drawing the shape and then how it actually turns out. But in the end, all of these are helpful. Um, it's a good warm-up to do, just in general. Again, it's one I haven't done in a long time, and I probably should do it more often, especially with the non-dominant hand one. This one, time and again when I was in high school, I was always so surprised that drawing with my non-dominant hand made drawing with my right hand so much easier. And it's not that it made it easier, it was just probably the way that I was then breaking down the image, because I had this almost insurmountable, um, you know, situation drawing with my left hand where I couldn't do much, to suddenly becoming much easier with a hand that can actually write, and can, make letters pretty easily without even thinking about it. So I just thought that'd be a nice quick video of 3 exercises that you can do that can really help, a nice little warm-up before you get started when you're drawing. If you do it every single time, it may help you sort of reanalyze how you're looking at your subject overall and sort of get your mind in a space that's helping you break down shapes and break down forms by simpler shapes. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope y'all take care. See you next time.